Hey guys, welcome back to Unbiased Magic Reviews, the place where you come to for unbiased, honest reviews of magic that you care about, relevant magic, magic that you're thinking about picking up perhaps, not Sandmine's latest gimmick magic which can end up in your bottom drawer. So today I'm going to be reviewing for you guys an effect that was released at the end of this summer. It was released at the end of August. It's called Pure by Adrian Fowell. Here's what the demo looks like.
Okay, it's a really quick demo of Pure. For the random number I'm going to use Google, which is off camera, but any number can be picked as long as it's from 5 to 45, not 5 but anything else, and we'll see what we get. I've made a prediction earlier which will come to in a moment, and let's have a look. Okay, 17, okay. Cards I'm going to show you quickly, normally I wouldn't, but it's a normal deck. And 17. Whatever number they pick, they always remove that number of cards from the deck. Next card's going to be our prediction. Now, before I started, I did make a prediction. It was one card, that was a Queen of Spades. And the card they stopped at was the Queen of Spades. And that's Pure.
Okay, so you guys took a look at the demo and you could see that this is a card at any number, and what it really should be called is predicted card at any number, because that's really what this is. And I'm gonna try to keep this review really succinct and right to the point, because I think that I kind of ramble on sometimes, but so let's go over it and see what it is. What this is that you put out a prediction, you hand your spectators a case deck of cards, you let them freely think of a number. The only restriction is that it has to be between 5 and 45, and then they can take the cards out themselves. They can deal down to that number and it matches your prediction. That is the effect, just like you see in the demo. So let's talk about what you're going to get. So for your $14, which is what this costs now, you're going to get some PDF files, you're going to get about 15 minutes of video instruction, and that's going to teach you 3 different handlings of the effect. And so let's go over the advertisement to see how honest it is. I always like to do that. So the advertising, it says the following: self-working. Well, not entirely self-working, so that's a little bit untrue. No forces, numbers 5 to 45. So at least they do tell you up front that it's there's a range selection between 5 and 45. Deck can be handled freely by the spectator. That is true, I agree with that. No unnecessary counting of cards. Cards are dealt only once. That's true. No switches. Only one prediction is in play. That exactly is true. There's only one selected card in play. That is also true. You never touch or come near the cards in any way after you give the cased deck to your spectators. And that is also true. I agree with that as well. Bonus borrowed deck handlings included. That's also true. No memory work or math. Well, there's no math, but there is a small amount of memory work, so that's not entirely true there. No misindex cards, rough and smooth gaffed cases. That's also true. I agree with that. Quick reset. I agree with that. Minimal arts and crafts with no skill required. Well, that's debatable. The demo is a genuine depiction of the effect. I agree with that totally. So that's what you see is exactly what you are going to perform. So I would tell you guys that I agree with about 90% of what this advertisement says. So I'd say overall it's very honest in general. So let's go over the questions of things that you're interested to know about this effect. So other than what you're going to get some PDF files and some video instructions. The next question is this effect impromptu? Can you use a borrowed deck? The reality is it's not impromptu, and there is a borrowed deck version, but there is a setup involved, and they have to have jokers in their borrowed decks. In the borrowed deck, there has to be a pair of jokers, otherwise you can't do the effect. So it's not just any borrowed deck. It has to be a full borrowed deck with jokers. Can the deck be shuffled? Only by you, and only if you can do a false shuffle. So the deck cannot be shuffled. How free is the spectator's choice? Like it said, between 5 and 45, it's a totally free choice in between that range. And when I've performed this, I just tell them think of a number from 1 to 52. Nobody ever thinks of a low, like a number less than 5 or a number higher than 45. I've never had it happen, so I've never had a problem with that. But there is a range there. How examinable is the deck? I'd say very examinable. The spectators, I mean, I've used the same exact deck afterwards to do more card effects, and nobody's ever noticed anything. Of course, the deck is not a full deck, so you have to be aware of that. So, but unless if you're doing an effect that requires a full deck of cards, then yeah, that's going to be a problem because it's not a full deck. How difficult is the effect to perform? I'd say it's not difficult at all. I'd say it's beginner level, but there is a small amount of memory work, and there's a small thing you have to do that you have to learn how to do. So there's a little bit of practice involved before you be able to perform this. I would definitely, though, say that this is beginner level. It's not difficult at all. There's nothing hard to do about it. You just have to be able to remember a couple simple things, and you have to be able to do something. How are the angles for the effect? I'd say overall really good. I mean, you don't want somebody standing right behind you at the moment that you do the revelation. They might see what you do. That's the only one thing I would say. That's the restriction of the angles. Can the effect be repeated? I would say no. I don't think it can really be repeated because the reality is that the handling does depend on the number they give you, so it really can't be repeated. And then has this effect been done before? This card at any number effect? Is this just another repeat? The reality is that the effect relies on a couple of different methods. Part of the method has been done before, and it has been done before at a card at any number. And if you're interested in that, that was put out by Shin Lim, and that product was called Think. So his effect, Think, is half of the method for this effect. The other half of the method is a totally different method altogether. So that's something there just to let you know, but it is very ingenious. The idea of putting these ideas together, this is the first time I've ever seen that done. I've never encountered it anywhere else that they put these different ideas together for a card at any number type effect. And is the effect worth it? I'd say definitely. It's definitely worth your $14. So what are the positives and the negatives? Let's go over those really quickly. So the positives are that one, that the deck really can be handled freely by the spectator. And the nice thing is you never touch the deck, which is great. If you're, based on your comfort level, I don't mind letting somebody take a look at the deck. And I'm not afraid that they're going to find anything because I've never had anybody really notice anything. Although with the bonus handlings, they definitely won't find anything with the bonus handlings because there's nothing to find. So the bonus handlings is something you may be interested in more than actually the original handling because there is zero to find in that handling, which is really kind of nice. And it's kind of nice that that's included. So that's definitely a positive. The other thing is that it's very easy to perform. So that's great. There's a one-time setup. Once that's done, like once you do the one-time setup, the arts and crafts, you'll never have to do that again, which is also a relief. So those are all the positive things, and that this is really a really great opener. It's really good for table hopping because the reset is very, very fast. And the effect really plays out as it should. People will be mesmerized by this, especially because you really don't touch the cards. So really, it is as good as it sounds. I mean, it really is, in that way, it is kind of pure. So those are all the real positive aspects of the effect. What are the negative aspects of the effect? Well, that one, you're not going to be able to perform this the day you buy it because there's some other things you're going to have to buy to prepare it, to get it ready. So that's a negative right there because the reality is that you're not going to have everything you need to perform this the day that you get this because you're going to have to buy a couple of other things. There is a small amount of arts and crafts involved. So that is also kind of a negative for some people, I would say. It is not self-working, so that's something else that may be negative to some people. I don't think that this is something you could perform in if it's not an English-speaking country. Like if you speak another language in your country, I don't think that this is something you could perform there just because of the nature of the method. So that's maybe another negative aspect of it. And the fact that you can't let them shuffle the cards before you begin. So that's another thing that's probably negative for some people, and you really can't repeat the effect. That's also kind of a negative aspect, but would you really want to anyway? I mean, something that strong, I don't think you really should repeat it, but some people may have different ideas about that. That being said, those are probably the biggest negative aspects about it. And for me, I would think that probably the biggest negative aspect is that idea that there is some arts and crafts involved to just to prepare it so that way you could do it. So that's something to think about there. but the offset is that once that's done, you don't have to redo that anymore, and that the deck relatively is examinable by your spectators. That's a wonderful thing, and that's really great. So that's what separates this from a lot of other type of card at any number effects that are heavily gimmicked overall. So I would definitely recommend that you guys take a look at this and pick it up. Overall, I would give this 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely, if I had to, I would definitely get it again. It's definitely an effect that's something that I am using more often than not, and it's definitely something that I like to keep, so I have it ready to go if I need to, because it's that kind of effect that it definitely gets huge reactions. So 4 out of 5 stars, definitely worth picking up. If you guys have any questions about the effect or any of the things that I present here, just leave me a comment. Please don't forget to subscribe so that way you don't miss out on any of these unbiased magic reviews, where I'm giving you guys my feedback on stuff that I get, so you don't have to waste your money on it, and stuff that maybe I think that you really should take a look at. And remember, I'm performing this stuff myself daily. I'm not just reviewing stuff that some magic company is sending me. I'm not just pushing stuff at you. I didn't just open it out of the box 10 minutes ago like other people are that are making magic reviews. So I actually been using it since this summer. So anyway, I hope that this helps some people, and I look forward to any of your comments. Thanks for checking out the review.